My mother likes my content. You know what I saw? Right. My parents, chat, they watch the videos, the clip channels, the live stream watchbacks. I didn't realize how much they were watching, but my mum does it as well. I knew my dad watched the content in the clip channels, but my mum does as well. My mum watches the clip channels. So we were talking today about the John Jones situation and the Tom Aspinall becoming undisputed and all of this. Because normally my dad will mention something that is like came up in the videos, but today he mentioned something like, you see that Gilbert Burns was talking about you? I went, what? He's like, yeah, Gilbert Burns, he was talking about you. Saw it on the on Grey Shirt or something. He actually mentioned Grey Shirt to me. Oh, Grey Shirt's in there. There you go, Grey Shirt. Here's mum watches Grey Shirt. Grey Shirt, yeah. But she does as well. You can never call your viewers losers now. Funnily enough, my mum said that I was like, so do you watch all this stuff? And she went, yeah, I'm a loser. I went, all right, well, they're not losers just for watching. Have you ever vaped or smoked cigs? You seem like you've had a couple cigs in your life. Yeah, I used to smoke cigarettes. No, I didn't. I didn't ever used to smoke cigarettes. I have smoked cigarettes before. So for like a few weekends in a row when I was younger, maybe a couple of months, if we went out for drinks at Spoons or some shit, then I would have a cigarette or two that night. And I understood it, and it was nice. But then I stopped after like a few weeks of doing it. Basically, I woke up the next day once, and I swear to God, this is how quickly it happens with cigarettes. I used to be like, okay, well, I'm just smoking on the Saturday when I drink. And it's good when you drink. It's like alcohol and cigarettes. It feels good together. There's a point to it. But then one time I got home, and I woke up on Sunday, and I came to smoking a cigarette in the garden of my house. And that was when I was like, I literally, after I was like midway through, and I went, oh, what the f-? Oh, this is how it happens. So I just immediately stopped it then. I never smoked a cigarette again. And I never vaped. I've tried a vape, but I've never vaped like any reason, but I've tried one. Such a shame we might have to waste a Volk fight versus Yair. I hate that, yeah, because Yair is so risky for anyone. But Volk, it will mean, yes or no, chat, you will look back. If he fights Yair Rodriguez again, it will mean nothing on his resume. Yes or no? I honestly think, yes, it will mean nothing on his resume. You will look back at Volk's resume and go, oh yeah, and then that random Yair rematch. That doesn't mean anything. And you'll just move on to whatever other name there is. I hate that, dude. Because it's such a long training camp for him at this age, and a risk of a matchup that he'll probably win, but he'll get no credit for. Because it's not worth the credit, because Yair does not deserve a title shot. It's a mess. I think what Volk is doing, though, and I saw him say this in an interview, is he said he's going to see what happens in Evloev versus Pico. So that's promising. That tells me that the UFC is saying, if you want to fight now, it has to be Yair. So Volk's actually taking a second and going, hang on a minute. He's actually going, hang on a minute here. And he's going to see what happens in Evloev versus Pico first. Because if Evloev wins that, Volk could try and get him on a quick turnaround in Abu Dhabi, you know, in October, which is going to be a stacked card, by the way. UFC is so dumb for not making Yair Lopez. Yair turned it down, Lopez said. Here's the thing, yeah. UFC. You offered Lopez and Yair the fight, UFC Noche main event. This is why Lopez is now main eventing against Gene Silva. Lopez said they offered it to Yair and he turned it down. If they then give Yair a title shot after he turned that down, what are we doing as a company? Like, genuinely, what the f*** are they doing as a company? It doesn't make any sense. Old School Guru will... Impression of Tito Ortiz unskewing protein from the bottom. Unskewing. Oh, unscrewing, yeah. I don't know how to do the impression of that. But this is how Tito Ortiz opens a bottle. I do have one. This is how Tito Ortiz would open a bottle. He opens it by the bottom. For some weird reason, he does that. I can't even open it this way. That's how Tito opens this shit. It's weird as fuck. Thank you for the £2. Don't disrespect the members. What a short-lived fun moment of gaslighting that was when we had Orban in the Twitter spaces, dude. I do feel bad for Orban, man. It really would have been off to the races for him if he won that fight against Song Hyuk KO. Like, if he won that, he would have got, like, the Neil Magny opportunity or something along those lines, you know? It was that type of fight, but it is what it is, man. He'll rebound. It's all good. It's probably better for Orban in a way, right? I was saying that to Orban on the phone. It's probably better, man. You know, you're better than the guys below you in the rankings by far. You know? So if he gets a few more of them, like, he's going to make more money in the long run. This way. You know what I mean? Sometimes these guys, they get to the top on a very weak contract, and then they're stuck fighting really good comp. On, like, a really weak contract. So sometimes it's good to have these early setbacks in terms of the longevity in a career, you know? And how many times you can do it. He's not going to end up like George Hardwick because he's in the UFC. All right, buddy? And George Hardwick will be in the UFC soon. So maybe he will end up like him. Both in the UFC. Capiche? Did you actually grow up with Orban? Yeah, we used to be in the same rugby league when we were younger. I didn't grow up with him. Like, I didn't, like, know him or anything, but I was aware of him. Like, we did get into some, like, moments. He didn't cry after I headlocked him, though, but I did fucking rough him up a bit once. But yeah. Lucas Tracy hates on Paddy so much it's annoying. I don't get it. I mean, I understand that he would lose to Arman. I just don't understand, chat. And hear me out here. I get saying Paddy ain't quality, like, championship level. I absolutely understand it, yeah. I don't think he would beat Arman. I don't think he'd beat Makhachev. I completely get it. I probably wouldn't even pick him to beat Oliveira. I'd probably pick Oliveira to beat him. But the problem I have with them doing that is they want Paddy to lose and us not to ever get the Ilia Topuria Paddy Pimblett fight. You know? Bedtime does this now and again as well with certain fighters where I'm like, dude, this is the coolest thing ever. It's not just like, you know, thinking a prediction about what their career is going to end up like or anything like that. That's one thing. But then sometimes I'll hear them and I'll be like, dude, did you not want the coolest fucking matchups we ever could get? You should be rooting for this, at least. But it seems like it's the new niche to root against it, I guess, right? Like, being entertaining to, like, watch a fight build up of is just, you know, not okay. That's the worst base for MMA, apparently. Bro, you crashed out over Marab win, which is the coolest thing ever. Marab win is not the coolest thing ever. Shut the fuck up. It's not the coolest thing ever at all. Paddy has the most personality at 155. And you know what? It's not like he's insanely funny. It's just he gives you things to watch, like to think about, to pay attention to in the build-up and shit, you know? There's always some kind of interaction between him and other fighters. He just has he has his own camera crew with him, you know? I did see Derek Brunson's tweets about John Jones, yeah. I was going to put him in my video, but I just wanted to stick on one topic. But yeah, I did see him. We spoke about him on stream the other day for a brief moment. But yeah, he said, John Jones and I used to hang out about every day when I was in town from 2011 to 2014. One night we went out and I said to him, bro, why are you doing all of this? Let's just hang out with the ladies and have fun. The extra stuff isn't needed. They're already here with us. He looked at me and said, I don't need a dad, I need a friend. This was the last time we hung out. I couldn't sit back and watch. I have to be honest with my friends. Intriguing. He needs the extra stuff. Very interesting. I don't know if you'll like 28 years later. So Tom just hopped on Ariel's show and had a very interesting take on athletes using PEDs. It was brutal. I saw it. 14:49 mark when you get the chance. Want to know your thoughts? I think you'll appreciate what he had to say. I saw what he was saying on there, yeah. I'll look it up now because there's a quote that I saw on Twitter. And you know what's crazy? Fighters are only now speaking up about this, which is good. But not enough fighters speak about PEDs in MMA. At all. Not, like, barely any of them even reference it anymore. It used to be a thing when USADA first came along, where there were so many fighters like, oh, finally I get to call these people out for being on roids. And we saw Bisping pave the way with that. And a lot of other fighters were massive. Like, they build an entire identity around trashing people on roids. But then it kind of went away. And now people accept it. And it's really weird. But Tom Aspinall said is Tom Aspinall on PEDs and MMA. If your job is to physically hurt another person, which could potentially redirect the rest of their lives, you're an absolute piece of shit. And you should never be able to fight again if you have any PED stuff. It's like taking a gun to a knife fight. How can you look yourself in the mirror when you know that you're cheating? You could potentially damage the other person for life. It's fucking disgusting, mate. It's absolutely fucking rank, mate. Thoughts on Strickland fans saying shit like he went off at the presser and it's just him doing an unbearable impression of someone's uncle? I saw that stuff with Laura Sanko. You know what? It is quite uncomfortable, you know. He's talking about Laura Sanko's looks the whole time, and he's funny, Strickland, yeah, but sometimes it's just like, there's funny, but when you're making someone really uncomfortable with it, it's interesting, you know. I didn't know how to feel about that. It was funny to watch, but it was also just like, come on, man. First in line to fight a gorilla or last in line with Bonnie Blue? You know what? Last in line with Bonnie Blue. I'll be honest with you. And I've had this answer before. I've said this answer before. But if I'm last in line to Bonnie Blue, by the time I get to her, she's going to be a fucking mess anyway, and I can get away with it. Like, I can just get away with faking it, in all honesty. So what I'd do is, and again, I've said this before, I'd like wrap my finger with some kind of like anti-corrosive material that can't be dissolved by any sort of like kind of corrosive acid. And then I'd put it in her and act like it was my dick from behind. And I'd probably just go, oh, and spit on her back and act like I've just sort of spaffed all over her back. So that would be what I would do. I'd just sort of put it in there for a bit, act like it's my dick, and then go, it's coming. And spit on her back and then get away with it, I think. And that way you get out of there, no risks, you know what I mean? You don't die, your dick don't fall off 2 days later, you know what I mean? I'd imagine that's what happens. I don't know, everyone seems to like be okay with STDs now, but I don't ever want any of them. So I don't know. That was my generation, I think. I think my generation was the last one that cared about having STDs a little bit. Charles needs to use front kicks, leg stomps if he has any chance at slowing Ilya down. The stomps are big against Ilya because his front quad on his left leg is completely separated, so he's prone to be injured from a fucking stomp. But no one does it because they're dumb. They don't do it. No one else has tried it. Holloway had good success with that. Holloway did try that, yeah. He did it a few times. But I want a proper one, though, not a Holloway baby attack. That's the noise that Holloway's attacks make. Yeah, I mean, JDM's punches make this noise. That's the noise that JDM's punches make. Holloway's are more of a just tuning up Brian Ortega. Thank you for the $2. What's your favorite order at a Chinese restaurant? What's my favorite order at a Chinese restaurant? Let me think about that. I like a good... You know what? Sometimes a Pomeranian ain't bad to kick it off with a starter. You know what I mean? Pomeranian for starters. And then once we get into the main meal, that's when I'm looking for more Labrador, German Shepherd type beat. You know what I'm saying? With maybe a good garnish of... I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's difficult to think. Or some fucking ugly thing out of the sea. That's another thing I could order on their menu. I don't know why they do that shit. If it looks like a bug, you shouldn't be eating it, I think. Black man can't drink. I was a nerd. I hate you. Smashing his head into the fucking thing. What a mess. That is the craziest thing about that whole John Jones arrest. He had just beaten his wife to a bloody mess in a hotel room and ran off. They arrested him and he goes, what, a black man can't drink? Like, for that to be the first thing that his mind goes to, off rip, knowing what he's just done to his wife and ran away from, is insane. Oh, yeah, no woman, no cry. He did say that. Yeah, he did mean to say that. Impression of Mikey. What the fuck is that? Wow, that was a weird feeling in the side of my fucking face for a second now. Let's see if I just firmed a stroke or not. That'd be banter to find out later on. The fuck was that? Just felt a whole fucking thing happen to the left side of my face. Thank you for the 2. Goonsey versus Aspinall. Aspinall wins that one, but it's close. What is going on my face? I keep getting like sharp pains in my face. What is that on my mustache, man? I haven't slept well in a few days. Maybe it's that. Dude, my traps are too fucking big for this shirt! Too much powder? Yeah, I've been snorting too much. That's it. Thoughts on Shavkat versus Islam if that ever happens? Ooh, let me tell you. You know what? I've never been less impressed by a fighter than Shavkat Rakhmonov. That being said, yes or no, chat? When Shavkat versus Ian Gary first happened, I thought, man, Shavkat Rakhmonov shit. Now I actually do rate the win quite high. Even though it was a dull fight, it's an impressive win from Shavkat, I think. So I don't know. I'd go with Makhachev over Rakhmonov, I think. But it'd be tricky. I don't think Shavkat's all that. JDM's the truth. Thank you for the fire. I'm a big Shavkat glazer, but he ain't getting out of a rear naked choke from Islam. But I do think Shavkat could beat him. He ain't getting out of a rear naked choke from Islam, but I do think that Shavkat could beat him. He could. Thank you for the 5. Yeah, Shavkat could win. I don't think Makhachev's all that. I do agree. If someone out physicalities him, he could lose. So maybe Rakhmonov could beat him, but I don't know. The technicality of Makhachev is quite good. And Rakhmonov's, he's finding trouble imposing on people. We haven't seen him recently. I don't know where he stacks up right now, you know, after his injury, which seems to be incredibly bad. What's the one fighter right now that you think could beat Topuria besides Islam? The one fighter right now that I think could beat Topuria besides Islam. What, within the divisions, lightweight and featherweight? At lightweight, I honestly think Volk could win a rematch. And I think at lightweight, I wouldn't pick him to, but he could. And then at lightweight, I don't know, dude, it's risky. Thank you for the 5. Not a lot of Arman. Arman could. Pimblett could. Let's face it, Pimblett is actually a decent matchup against Ilya, to be fair. As a half-caste Maori called James, Kai's soft. Thank you for the $3, James Rama. Hot take, Arman beats Prime Habib. Thoughts? I reckon so. I agree. Ty said he was... I actually 100% agree with you on that take, and I've said it before.
Yeah. So why don't you fight, bro? Stop gambling, start training. No, he versus MMA Guru.
I mean, bro, I already said I would do that. I'll take a fight against a non-fighter. That's
MMA Guru.
I'm down. MMA Guru said he's coming on the pod when he gets to Florida, bro.
Guy's bigger than you, bro.
I don't care. He's
that guy's big. When I saw him with that Jukus fight, that guy's a big guy. Boy, bro.
Yeah.
He's the reason that people are hating on Joe Jones because of freaking MMA
That's
Guru,
absurd.
Bro. You don't think so?
You really think that?
Go look at how many views. I never watch.
I'm not saying it's not entertaining to watch. It doesn't mean it's the reason people hate John Jones.
How many views you have that John Jones MMA Guru video? Go take a look.
Probably 300,000, 500,000.
No more.
More?
Fools. The hates, 100%. All the haters go there.
What do you think if let me ask, I'm looking right now, but Gilbert, if John Jones and MMA Guru were in the same room right now and no one else was there, what do you think that interaction would look like?
Oh, John Jones is funny, bro.
Yeah, but John Jones probably actually hates him.
Yeah, but John Jones, he's do believe he's not. He's a chill. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna try to kill the guy. He's gonna, hey, why are you talking, bro? Come on here. How did you got that? Why you expose me like that, bro? Hey, I think John Jones say 95% of the things are real, but why you expose me like that?
And MMA Guru would be like, bro, it's just for the money and the views.
Yeah, and I think they'll get along. And then he said,
really
you know
think
what?
They'll get along?
I think so. And I never watched the video, so I don't know how bad he went on John Jones. But I think John Jones will say, you know what? I'm just gonna forgive you if you do a video like that for Dana and a video like that for DC.
That's hilarious. For Dana? I thought Jones likes Dana.
But I never watch it, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, all right. So here are the numbers, Gilbert. So MMA Guru on John Jones' new criminal charges. This is 16.
New criminal?
Listen, this is 16 hours ago. It already has 200,000 views.
16 what?
16 hours ago, 200,000 views. 2 days ago, his video on Dana White announcing the retirement, 360,000 views.
I hear, but and how was the long video?
The deeply closeted gay UFC world champion video where he talks about John Jones and the truth behind his demons. That video was 1 year ago. It has 940,000 views.
No, yeah, John Jones will beat him up.
Yeah.
Is that bad? Is that bad?
Bro, watch the video.
No,
that's what I'm saying. No, but that's my point.
So the thing is, the way
that's
I see,
where it's taken too far.
But look, the way I see, the guy's a hater. I'm not gonna watch his content. I refuse. I'm not.
So will you let him on the pod?
They can come. He can come on the pod because, like I said, I don't know how bad he was because I never consumed his content. So he'll come. I'll ask him.
So where you just see clips on social media, right?
I just see. Sometimes I never saw much. I saw the most that I see from him was the clips from Ian Gary, and it was kind of funny. It was crazy, but it was kind of funny.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, he's a very funny, entertaining guy. He knows what he's doing.
But
I will say, Gilbert, there is a podcast.
Who?
Mighty Mouse and him watch the podcast, but I will say his first episode with Mighty Mouse, you actually learn about his story and the grind and his come up, and he becomes more likable. But if you watch that, but I mean, he knows what he's doing with when he's coming after these guys.
He's so much hating. I think the three videos that he got more
sells,
famous. Though. I know, but
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that's what sells.
Yeah. But for me, it's the opposite. If it's not right, I'm not. You know, I'm trying to. It's not that I'm not perfect, but I'm not gonna be talking bad about someone to get views.
Like Morcano?
Yeah. but like I think he got famous on the at the saying, right? At the saying.
Bro, the fucking
No, but at the saying was when he blew up, right? At the saying, I think Ian Gary. Which one was first?
I mean, it's not really one thing that blew him up. It was just, dude, he posted videos every day for 5 years.
And hating like on everybody, on the fights and these and that.
I mean, he is an interesting personality and perspective, but you know how the MMA fan base is, bro. It's a bunch of
haters.
Bro, the MMA fan base is like weird and toxic, bro. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Should have seen Ariel's reaction to DJ calling Ian a cuck on his show today. It was golden. Damn, a few things have been going on, huh? Thank you for the $5. It's been golden recently, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you for the 2. Matty Betts agreed to fight you in Florida. Oh, yeah, they were talking about me on the Show Me the Money pod. Gilbert Burns was calling me a hater for going after John Jones. Gilbert. Thank you for the 2. No, I ain't fighting Matty Betts. I'm all right, man. I record at the same studio and as Brady and Pfeiffer and caught them watching Guru John Jones video in the car before recording their pod. I see them weekly. Any message from you? You know how Gilbert Burns was so casually talking about how he watched all of the videos about Ian Gary and John Jones and all of that. It's crazy. Thank you for the $2, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if they did watch a few videos. Dude, let's face it. If you're in the MMA world, you're watching the John Jones MMA Guru saga going down. I truly believe so. Even if you don't like me and don't find it funny, you gotta watch. You know? He said he didn't watch them. No, he did say he watched the Ian Gary ones and the other ones, but he didn't watch the John Jones ones.